I need to say something that would have saved me years of mistakes. You're not wrong, you're just doing it at the wrong time. And that's the biggest mistake that I see most producers make. Welcome back to the Distinct Mastering YouTube channel. My name is Freddie. If you don't know who I am, I've been in the business for over 25 years as a touring DJ, music producer, mastering engineer, and more. Today I'm following up last month's episode with a little bit of a philosophical video. You're not wrong, you're just doing it at the wrong time. There's a very big difference between being wrong and being early. And what I mean by that is by not applying the tools at the right time. Maybe trying to apply tools too early before actually addressing the root of the problem. Another issue that I see is people just don't clearly understand the tools that they're using. We're going to get into all of this in this video. Let's begin. Let me give you 3 hard examples that I commonly see people do. Sometimes I'll get sessions from friends or people that I work with. I look at their sessions and there might be 10 to 20 plugins on one track. That's just a huge no. Let's dive in a little bit deeper. There's 2 things I want you to think about while watching this video: being wrong and being early. Being wrong means you don't understand the tools that you're putting on your tracks. Being early means that you're putting the tools on the tracks too early before addressing the root of the problem. Please let that sink in and think about that one for a minute. 3 examples. Number 1, using EQ before actually picking the right sound. Number 2, compressing before the actual levels are even right. Or do you even need compression at all? Number 3, trying to master a track that isn't finished. Or if you think it is finished, maybe the arrangement is just too much. Maybe you need to simplify some things. Sometimes simple tricks with the arrangement can make a track feel so much better. So the overall arcing theme for this video, the action isn't wrong, the timing that you're doing it is. Let me go back in time a little bit into my past as a music producer. When I was young, obviously I learned how to use Pro Tools and I was recording different rappers and making hip hop beats on my MPC 2000 XL. I was always under the impression that I should put an EQ on everything, high pass everything, and put compression on every track. Now, many years ago, I made a video on the subject of high pass everything, and you can find that in the link in the description. I kind of debunked that myth back then, so go back and check that out. In the general sense of things, I would always try to put EQ and try to fix something if it was produced badly, or if it was the wrong sound, or if it was just not the right thing. I think that EQ and compression were always necessary. I always thought every track needed EQ and compression, when in reality, sometimes it just doesn't. If you just do it right from the beginning, you may not even need it. And then why need compression? Why kill your punch if you want to retain punch? Compression is there if you need it, not always to be used. Another thing to think about, if my session wasn't complicated, I felt like I wasn't doing enough. But as I've gotten older, I found that putting limitations on things can help you progress your tracks and help you sound more professional and polished. So what do you think what the real problem really was? And if some of these problems are happening to you, then these are the things that I would address first and foremost. Truly, I was just insecure about how things sounded, and I'm going to get into why I was insecure about that in a second. And 2, I was trying to sound professional, thinking that this is what always pros do. And I'm talking, this was, 25 years ago when I first started. As I've gotten more advanced with a lot of my training, things have really changed in my mindsets. There was no YouTube back then, but I do hear a lot of younger producers just following YouTube videos, random things online, and I'll admit there's a lot of information that is wrong out there. There's always people trying to say you should do this and you should do that, and that is not always the case because no 2 tracks are alike, no 2 mixing rooms are alike, no 2 music production is alike, and everyone's ears are slightly different, everyone's monitors are different. There's too many variables. So I'm going to get into how to address these problems. My biggest problem was I couldn't accurately hear things. I was working in a bad room. It wasn't tuned. It didn't have acoustic treatment. I was also working with untrained ears. So both of those combined, I was already at a disadvantage. The third thing was I was basically guessing because I knew how to use the tools and I knew what the tools did, but because I couldn't accurately hear, I couldn't make the best decisions. That being said too, I think while you're making those bad decisions, you're training your ear to hear things improperly, which in turn causes you to make more bad decisions. So there was a period and point in my life where a very legendary, famous house producer, Bad Boy Bill, came to my studio and he recommended that I had gotten rid of this old DigiDesign console that I had. If I were to upgrade, my monitoring would get better. And there was another point in time when I had went to school for mastering and I learned about things like Sound Gym and I learned about things like room correction software. I already had acoustic treatment, but my knowledge of acoustic treatment also got better. And I upgraded my room. I got rid of the 2-inch stuff and got into 4-inch panels and got them off the wall. Little tricks. If you guys are interested in acoustic treatment information, I can make a video on that. Just drop me a comment below. But that is not the topic of today's video, so I'm not going to go too deep into that. All of that combined sent me down a huge rabbit hole of just massive training. Now I am 98.9% better than the community in Sound Gym. I have much better acoustic treatment in this room. My ears are so much more refined. I spend a lot more time selecting the right sounds and getting things right before even doing any EQ. Before even doing any EQ, I spend time on volume. And then I focus on EQ and getting things to balance with each other. Only use compression if I need it, for example. Don't follow all of those "you need EQ and compression on every track" type rules that you hear all the time. I hardly high pass things these days too, so make sure you go back and check out that other video, link down below. The biggest focus I think for everyone is it's always the tools or buying new plugins or things like that, but it's truly about putting in the habits to educate your ears and train yourself to hear things accurately. So let's reinforce the core idea. Most producers aren't wrong, they're just doing it at the wrong time. They haven't put in the repetition to create the skills needed to accurately get where they want to be. They try to solve problems too early by putting EQ and compression, saturation, and various things. In this new format, I'm going to get into all of those different types of tools and talk about concepts for each one. I'd love to hear what you guys would like to see moving forward on this channel, so drop me a comment below. I want to talk about concepts like EQ, compression, saturation, mixing concepts, arrangement concepts, why people are making mistakes in these different areas, and go into real concept-based training, because I feel like on YouTube, everyone is telling you to do this and do that, but not giving anyone actual philosophies behind their thinking. That is the direction I think I want to take this channel. So if you're feeling that, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys, and we will continue to push forward with the Distinct Mastering YouTube channel. So in short, if you think about it, if you focus on finding the right sound, you may not even need to use EQ or very minimal EQ instead of always trying to push something super far. Most of the time, if you think about it, the scale degrees on the EQ are pretty wild, and we're going to talk about that in the EQ video. Bad sound plus EQ equals a mess. Good sound plus EQ equals a path to success. So if you're working in your DAW right now, here's 3 rules that I think you should follow every time you try to make a move. Think about these 3 things. Number 1, before touching any plugins, think about the sound source itself. Think about volume. Number 2, ask yourself, why am I fixing this before adding plugins? What is the goal you want to achieve? Is that plugin or tool going to help you get there? If not, can you get a better result with a different sound? And number 3, always be trying to move forward instead of perfecting things. Sometimes there's an element to the creative process where you need to keep moving. And I find a lot of producers always get stuck in the loop. The best way to get out of the loop is to continue trying to arrange. And we'll talk about that more in an arrangement video. So I think I'm going to change a little bit of this channel to be a little bit more concept based. Not saying I won't talk about tools and hacks. We can still get into that stuff. I want to talk about timing, decisions, and philosophies and concepts behind things. So if you're feeling this, let me know down in the comments. So once again, let's finish this episode with the overall arcing theme. You're not doing it wrong, you're just doing it at the wrong time. I hope you found this helpful. I know it was a little bit of a rant, but these rants are very important. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and if you like this video, please drop me a comment, hit that like button, do all the favorite YouTube stuff that everyone has to say. Don't forget, I have a small membership $1.99 package to support me in helping create these videos. As we move into this new format, I would love to hear from you guys and would love to see what you guys want from me. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the comments until the next video. Peace.
Bassline heavy.